Hey kids, what time is it?
What time is it?
It's community conversation
It's
time.
community conversations time. That's right. From the beaches of South Florida to the hills of Tennessee, from New York to Hawaii, tell your friends that Community Conversations is about to inform the next generation with news, without fear, and educate them without opinion.
And a warm South Florida and Costa Rica welcome to all of you.
This one-hour forum deepens connections, and it provides discussions on a range of topics, including social emotional issues, improving relations with law enforcement, post-secondary education, careers, health and wellness, politics and race, inclusion, and equality.
Focus on an initiative. Case in point tonight, you all were speaking about gun violence. Since I've been growing up, that's been a thing, especially living here in Florida.
Community Conversations, where it's all about highlighting the talented youth in our communities and the great things that they are
in
doing.
terms of encouraging women's involvement in civil rights activism.
Community Conversations.
Hello. It is now 7 p.m. I'm Ludney Charles.
And I'm Alexander Blackwood.
And a pleasant South Florida welcome to all of you to this edition of Community Conversations. Tonight, we're coming to you from the Amazon Studios in downtown Delray Beach, where both the Delray Affair is going on while the Billie Jean King Tournament will be underway shortly. If you know of someone who should be hanging with us, please take a moment and call or text them and let them know that Community Conversations is on.
If this is your first time hanging with us, it is important that you know that we have been providing you with news about what young people are doing and have been doing around the globe for the past 3 years. We are committed to ensuring you have the latest local news about youth, whether it's about them doing great things in school, on the athletic field or court, or even in their house of worship. We want to highlight the positive things young people are doing in our community. So remember, no news is too small for us to cover.
Speaking of houses of worship, last Saturday, more than 100 people attended Miss Patrice Durden's production of He Paid the Price, a reenactment of Jesus' life from just before his crucifixion to his resurrection. The play, which featured local artists, was at Sudden Chapel Church of God in Christ in Delray Beach. If you missed the play, you can find it on KOP's Facebook and YouTube pages as we streamed it live.
Sunday was Resurrection Sunday, a day where Christians worldwide celebrate their holiest day, Easter, which commemorated the resurrection of Jesus of Nazareth. Some students from Gaston Kids Club were on the beach in Delray Beach at 6 a.m. for their annual multi-faith Easter sunrise services, where they worshiped through songs, prayer, and a message as the sun rose upon the Atlantic Ocean. The event, which was in its 60-plus year, reflected on a Sunday morning nearly 2,000 years ago when Jesus' followers found an empty tomb, then later encountered a risen Savior. The students passed out the programs and collected the offering.
How interesting. Here at Community Conversations, we take full advantage of the low technology to engage the next generation with news that will inform without fear and educate without opinion. KOP is now accepting applicants for its 2023 summer camp, Camp Quest. The 8-week themed camp will be on Singer Island. In fact, it is the only summer camp on the beach in Palm Beach County. Campers will be exposed to some cool activities such as aviation, horseback riding, golf, water activities, and outdoor adventures. Transportation will be provided from some areas of the county. For more information on registration and transportation, call 561-665-0151.
Save the date and mark your calendars for Sunday, April 30th. All roads will lead to the Rivera Beach Marina for Around the World in 5 hours multicultural festival. There will be vendors and exhibitors showcasing food, artifacts, music, and culture from at least 7 countries. If you're interested in being a vendor, call 954-249-28 2831 for more information. That's 954-249-2831.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. All roads lead to the Around the World Multicultural Festival on Sunday, April 30th in Riviera Beach.
On Sunday, April 30th in Riviera Beach.
This free fun event will be all about culture, dance, music, and hands-on activities that showcase different countries from around the world.
There will be a lot of attractions for the entire family.
Dad mentioned the arts and crafts tent for kids.
There also will be a special tribute recognizing the 50th anniversary of the independence of the Bahamas.
Come and represent with your country
And enjoy with your family.
That's Sunday, April 30th,
from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Riviera Beach Marina.
190 East 13th Street in Riviera Beach.
Call 561-935-7653 for more information. Again, the number is 561-935-7653 for more information.
Don't forget to wear your country's colors.
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 You realize I was muted there.
Cinco de Mayo is right around the corner, which means the Great Chihuahua Race is coming to town. What does that mean? Simple. Ladies, start pulling out your fascinators, and men, get those top hats. Better get those binoculars ready, because the annual Chihuahua Derby is happening on Saturday, May 6th, from 1 to 3:30 p.m. There are opportunities for vendors to be involved. Call 561-665-0151 for more information.
Some kids enjoy rainy days when they can't go to school, but for one group of kids, in an after-school program, they got to spend school at a recreational center in Delray Beach, and it was then they learned that indoors doesn't have to mean being inactive. Instead of running around on the soccer field as they usually do on Wednesdays or climbing the bars at the local park, they spent the afternoon at the 505 Teen Center on South Federal Highway. And while they were supervised, there was an electric kind of chaos that ran through the student population. They did some painting on canvas, they played pool, and other games, but the highlight of them for many was the recording studio, where they showed their true metal by being creative in rapping free flow songs.
And it is that time for Trending Now with Mr. John and Mr. Simon.
When I move my body just like this, I don't know why, but I feel like freedom. I hear a song that takes me back, and I let go with so much freedom. Freedom, I'm gonna get, 'cause it's my freedom.
Brother John, what's happening, brother?
What's going on, good brother?
I'm doing well, man. I hate to be a complainer, but are you going to help me or not? I got Miss Charles, I got Denai over here, and nobody wanted to do my teleprompter. They were like, hey, you're on your own. So everybody has gotten the Neil virus. Anyway, so what's going on, man? What have we missed this week?
Man.
What has it been like with the latest celebrities on campus? How was it?
Man, busy, man. They have their celebration. Boca Raton is doing a celebration for them on Wednesday at Mosner Park.
Okay.
So Wednesday, Mosner Park at 5 p.m. The city of Boca and FAU are doing a celebration for the men's basketball team.
Okay.
So expecting a big crowd. So this is kind of me promoting it to our listeners to come check it out. Celebrate these guys. They brought historic recognition to the university, to Boca Raton, South Florida. So yeah. But
What time on
man,
Wednesday?
constantly busy. That we do have a spring football game tomorrow at the stadium at noon. So for our football fans that want to come see the new coaching staff and our student athletes, that's tomorrow at noon. And so yeah, just wrapping up spring. Super busy, but there's a lot going on.
Can imagine. Again, bro, congratulations, man. You guys truly did it this year. Yeah. And we'll be like Miss Franklin now. I'm gonna drop the heat and start looking out, trying to get my season ticket for the Owls.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a hot ticket for sure.
Yeah.
And especially in basketball, because our capacity in the arena isn't much. And so yeah, it's gonna be a hot ticket for sure.
Yeah. Someone's asking what time is the game tomorrow?
The game tomorrow is at noon. And the
at the Meisner Park.
And then the celebration
Wednesday
for the students would be Wednesday at 5:00 at Meisner Park.
Meisner Park.
Kind of that whole Meisner Park area.
Yeah. Okay. Well, bro, it's today I had a chance to hang out downtown Delray all day. In fact, since 4 a.m. today, it's nicknamed the greatest show under the sun, and I can attest to that. As I can say, Delray Fair is one of the largest arts and craft festival east of the Mississippi. Miss Charles, you heard that phrase before, east of the Mississippi?
No.
You never heard it before. What about you, Frank? Whatever your name these days. Everybody right here changing their name. Strong, have you heard that phrase before? Missing in action, just like Neil. I keep telling you. What about you? You heard the phrase before? East of the Mississippi. Okay. What do you think it means?
Probably east of Mississippi, the state, or the Mississippi River.
Oh, you know about Mississippi River. Okay. Good point. East of the Mississippi. Well,
maybe.
Yes, Ms. Strong, what do you think it means? Okay, I can't hear you either. Okay, well, you're right. On the east side of the Mississippi, Mississippi divides the country. So it's a phrase they always say on the east side, East Coast. So it's by far one of the largest arts and craft festival. But, well, John, the festival, which was downtown Delray, this year turns 61. And it features works by 400 artists, crafters, plus food, live music, and whatever you can imagine. I was there this morning and, like I said, spent much of the day at least, and I had a chance to see a lot. I ate a lot, met a lot of people, and I learned a lot. First, let me say major kudos to the Queen, Nancy Stewart, and her crew, Jen, Byrne, Carol, Sergeant Bill, et al., for keeping such a staple going in this, what used to be a seaside retirement community. Yeah, this was a retirement community at one time. You didn't know that, huh?
No.
Yeah, Delray wasn't always this size. Many years ago, it was a bungalow. You know what a bungalow is?
Yes.
Okay. It's a bungalow community downtown. And where you have hotels now, you just had some weird looking homes along Federal Highway. Still see some of them if you go back in some of those streets. But some of you probably know Nancy. In my mind, she ranks up there with Marjorie Ferreira, who was responsible for putting Delray Beach on the map, at least over the last 30 years. Nancy ranks up there in my eyes by far. She ran the Garlic Festival many years. In fact, the Garlic Festival is still going on in town. It started here in Delray Beach, and they moved to Lake Worth, and it's further up north somewhere there. So she ran the Bourbon and Beer, or Bourbon and Bones, Bourbon and Brew Festival, whatever it's called, but Bourbon and something, many years. And she has done so much to bring traffic, John, to Delray Beach, that someday, without a doubt, Nancy Stewart will be enshrined in the annals of this city. Anyway, Nancy, please take a bow for your yeoman job in pulling off this year's event. Obviously, it takes an army of volunteers to pull off something like this. So thanks to those who pinch hit in whatever capacity. You're going to help me out now that Strawn has left me hanging? I can't remember everything. I got it since I don't have my cheat sheet, John. So, but yeah. Shout out to the Police Explorers. They did an awesome job today under the leadership of Sergeant Rodner and Officer Roxanne on their role as parking attendants this weekend. I'm sure that many people, just like myself, would rather pay that $5 to you guys today for parking at one of the city's garages than have to feed those meters downtown, meters where every so often those guys in those cars ride around and just look for scofflers like myself.
Yep.
You give a ticket. I am telling you, I'm not even going to go down. Okay, here they call. They keep coming now. Here they are now, texting me and telling me. Okay, I got it. Delray Popo is on the lookout for me. Okay. All right, good. No, I did not say I broke any laws. I said they give me tickets. So, and I've paid them all. Anyway, kudos to my crew, Isabella and the crew, Gianna, Haley, Jennifer McKenzie. You heard, I think you talked about the Easter service early on the beach. I went out there this past Sunday, and they did an awesome job. Nadine, how could I forget my man Nash? And John, it was just a beautiful sight, beautiful experience to be out there with hundreds of people on the beach and on the street. And people were just there for the word. But more so, I ran across a photo this week. Someone sent me a video of what Easter's all about to me. Easter means a lot to different people. But Neil, why don't you pick it up?
On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame.
And for those of you like Strawn who did not go to church this past Sunday,
that old cross with the dearest and best.
Thanks for the
for a
reminder.
world of lost sinners were saved. So I cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. On that old rugged cross, stained with blood so divine. I want.
All right, thank you, Neil. Let me apologize for those who are hearing the background noise. We're next door to a pizza joint, and I'm not sure what they're doing next door, but there are a lot of background noise. Just told that the tennis match was postponed or canceled for the day because of rain. So as I look out, there's a line of people out here waiting. So I'm not sure if they're fighting for pizza or what next door. So let me apologize for the noise that you hear in the background. It's not from the studio. It's from the pizza joint, which will remain unnamed. But I mentioned earlier about Denise Strong not going to church. I stand corrected on that. This past Sunday, she had a trifecta job. She sang beautifully, even though no words came from her mouth. But the kids said, "You did?" I didn't hear you, but she did. She was in a choir, I should say, and they did a beautiful song, a beautiful job singing the song. She served as narrator for the play, The Skip.
Okay.
But what really was so impressive, and I must say, you are a very talented young lady. You have a promising future. It seems like everything you touch, you just radiates with greatness. She danced, John. She and her cousins, the Strawnettes. Yes, they danced a song about the cross, about Jesus being on the cross, and they were dancing and acting, and she picked the girl up and twisted her and turned her around like a cross, and said, "Wow!" So very skilled, very impressive. I think we have some videos which we'll show next week. It's never too late, but just want to say again, good job, good job. Immediately after Ms. Strong performed last week, I started an ordeal, a trip to South Carolina, a small town called Elgin, South Carolina, for a fishing tournament to honor a dear friend of KOP, Miss Estella Pfeiffer. She's a woman who started the Brilliant Bus movement. Her son, who lives in that town of 1,500 people, not 1,000, 1,500 people, he wanted to honor his mom, and he hosted this fishing tournament. So we had some kids there, and it was interesting. Quite a few boats came, and it was at a ball field, bro. They had the ball field. They had some mini pools. They had a bottle. They had these large bottle in the pool, and people got on the boat. The kids got on the boats, and they fished from the boats and threw their lines out and try to snag the bottles. It was very creative. So they've invited us to come up next year. We'd like to make this a annual event. They happen to be on spring break this week, so we're looking, maybe we can do it a weekend trip next year. But that was a very good time going up. It was a long ride, but I learned so much by stopping at these truck stops. Have you ever ridden in a truck, bro?
Actually, I have not. One of my best friends growing up, though, his folks drove trucks, but I have not actually ridden in, like your traditional 18-wheeler. No, I haven't.
Man, that's another world out there, man. That is another world. Good Lord, I met so many people because we just took our time driving up, and we stopped at every possible truck stops that we could, maybe because of the food or what. But it's another world. There were so many. One thing I was very impressed with and about and by, there were so many young people as in 25 and younger, who were behind those rigs on the highway. I saw some kids couldn't be more than 19, 20. Young.
And I mean, certain companies pay well, to drive these trucks. I mean, because it's, it's their merchandise cargo that you're, moving from state to state. And so if you're able to get there on time and safely, then,
bonus, yep.
Yeah, then that's it should pay.
Opportunities again for those young people listening who college may not be your choice, or the military may not be your thing. There's a career. And I had a chance to look in some of these trucks, and many of the newer models they're not designed like the old time trucks with a gear shifter, and it's like a mobile home. It's like you have a counter, you have a steering wheel on top, and you have a P, D, and R.
Yeah.
And you just press and turn. And it's like, wow, they had beds, they had refrigerator. I mean, it was quite a few of them were quite hooked. I said, I'm considering maybe my next life around. Look, they make one woman said, I made 114 last year. And she said, I wasn't even running. 114, and she wasn't even running. But yeah, they just told me that the Coco's game is gone. But we're not even going to go into that. Let's move on. The Palm Beach Post, the local paper here in South Florida, said they said it best, John, that while Team USA will host the Austria in tonight and tomorrow and Sunday's Billie Jean King qualifier at the Delray Beach Tennis Center, which is, by the way, is less than a block from where I'm sitting right now. The tennis center, if I step outside these doors, I can see the tennis center from here. But actually is Jessica Pegula and Coco Gauff, who are actually the real hosts. As you know, Coco hails from Delray Beach. Her doubles buddy Pegula, who is the number 3 singles player in the world. She's a transplanted Buffalonian who has lived in Boca Raton. For those who don't know Boca Raton, mouth of the, help me. What's Boca Raton? That's Spanish. What is that?
I don't know.
Y'all in high school, you guys don't know that? You went to school in Boca for a long time.
For 3 years, that's it.
Well, didn't you ask what's the significance of the city? I know what Delray means.
It's like very like rich type.
Oh, just rich. Okay, rich people live in
That's all
Boca,
I
so you
know.
don't need to know. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, she lives in Boca. That's the mouth of the rat.
Oh.
Raton. Okay. Yes, mouth of the rat.
Also believe her father has a ownership stake in the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true though.
Young lady here said, I'm watching you and watching Coca in Tennis Channel, the best of both worlds. So hold up now. How can you be watching Coca on Tennis Channel when the game has been called?
It looks like, it was 6. So Coco won the first set 6-1.
Okay.
And it was.
There goes a noise next door again, folks. It was what now?
So Coco won the first set 6-1. 6 games to 1, and then they started the second set, but it looks like play has halted.
Okay. It's interesting, Sean. I didn't know that her doubles partner lived in Boca Raton. And see the things you learn on Community Conversation. You didn't know that either. You didn't know that Boca Raton means mouth of the rat. That's why someone need to talk to these people next door. That noise is becoming. Anyway, the 29-year-old, she's 29, late boomer, has a rabid fan base in Buffalo as her father, mother, as you say, John, Terry and Kim, own the NFL Buffalo Bills and Sabres. Whoa, she comes from money. That's all right.
Yep. And she's making a hell of a lot herself as being the number 3 player in the world. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, her mom suffered cardiac arrest at the family's home in June of last year, according to an article written in February. And she's dealing with memory issues. However, Jessica was born in Buffalo, and the family moved to Pittsburgh when she was 2, and Hilton Head, South Carolina, which is just a few miles from where we were this past weekend. And apparently she became a Boca girl at age 13. When she decided to make tennis her career. Are you a Boca girl or a Delray girl? Since you hung out with those girls in Boca in school.
Delray.
Oh, you're still Delray diva. Okay, she called and said, I'm a Delray diva. Excuse me. I'm not a Boca girl. Anyway, John, we Muhammad Ali. Did you know he had a son?
Man. I don't think I knew that Muhammad Ali had a son.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I knew he had the two daughters, but he has a son who lives in South Florida, folks, which is Hollywood, which is just south of Fort Lauderdale, down here in Broward County. And he just completed a documentary, My Father, Muhammad Ali, The Untold Story. It took him 2 years to do it. They started during the pandemic and lumbered along, and they're about to release it now. So they had a screening this past week, Wednesday night, I think it was, at the Hagen Ranch and West Atlantic Avenue Theater out there. What's it called? The Movies of Del Rey. And let me just pause and say much thanks to Rochelle Walters, who runs that theater. She and her family, I think her brother works there as well, but the family doing just a great job, John, to keep the arts alive. They have all these movies that you would never see anywhere else, but relevant movies that our young people and some seniors need to know about. And they've been running those movies out there. So he didn't, though, he didn't stay in contact with his dad much as the years went on. In fact, the last time they saw each other was when the father was in a hospital on his deathbed. Won't give away the movie since it's coming out in a few weeks, but the junior, the son, is looking to create an impact on children after overcoming struggles and to, if you will, provide some inspiration from his perseverance. Neil, run those pictures for me, please. Okay. Commissioner Johnson, again, thanks to her. Commissioner Delray Beach Commissioner Shirley Johnson was one of the ones who made this happen, and she invited me to attend. Great movie, dynamic team that put it together. Had a chance to meet the director, the producer, and some of the cast, and I highly endorse it. Go see it when it comes to you. It's called Muhammad Ali, My Father, The Untold Story. Okay, The Untold Story by his son, Junior. Okay, well, we talked about fishing, we talked about boxing, and since we could not discuss tennis, and we wanted to have a trifecta, a new word that Strawn taught me earlier. We got to have a trifecta, everything trifecta. Because she's been hanging, that's what happened when they're in high school. They learn all these new words and come in and try to impress me. Takes more than you new words to impress me. Anyway, we want to have a trifecta in sports tonight, Mr. C-Ron. So let's leave you with a video of what we can expect on the baseball field, John. I dare not say at Pompey Park.
I will say the Miami Heat have a game to win tonight in order to make the playoffs. So I know that they lost the 7-8 game. So
yeah, 3 we have. I guarantee you can see that on so many fields where many of these toppers are getting their orientation to the game. Thank you, Neil. that was actually Spawn, huh? Look, y'all have a half hour to go. What do y'all going to fill it with? We have no birthdays tonight. All right. Anyway, bro, you be good, man.
All right, see you.
All right. Talk to you soon. You bet.
Yep.
Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. Let me see you do that. Oh, you're on.
A huge thanks to all the adults, parents, grandparents, educators, and responsible community servants who every Friday night hang out with us to share ideas and instill value in us, the leaders of tomorrow. We hear from you in the streets, we get your texts and emails, and we value your feedback. You are indeed contributing to your community as our mentors, and for that, we say thank you. And a warm shout out to our team of mentors, Mrs. Ed Franklin, Mrs. Kitty London, Mr. James T. Thomas, Mr. Dion Jefferson, Mr. Terrell Kane, Miss Jessica Wig, Miss Priscilla M. Willingham, Mr. Ted White, Mr. Roy Jenkins, and Mrs. Stacy Dillon. We thank you for investing your time in us, and guess what? We do not take your time for granted. This segment is brought to you by the Stewart and Shelby Development, which has been providing quality construction services for private clients, businesses, and various nonprofit agencies throughout Palm Beach County since 2006. The partners have more than 75 years combined experience in the construction industry and have been major contributors to the development of the contracting industry in South Florida for the last 30 years.
Several of you have been sending us videos that you felt are funny. And sometimes, some of them are actually hilarious. So we decided to share some of them with you. If you come across a video you think will get a laugh from Mr. C-Ron himself, send it in to us at 561-665-0151. You might just win a $50 gas card, courtesy of John Peters State Farm Insurance. As usual, we leave this segment with the small fries doing their affirmation.
Do the affirmation. Small fries, do the affirmation.
The affirmation. I will go to college. I will succeed. This is my promise. This is my dream.
Let's hear that again.
The affirmation. I will go to college. I will succeed. This is my promise. This is my dream.
One more time.
The affirmation. I will go to college. I will succeed. This is my promise. This is my dream.
All right. If you have plans for this weekend, Isabella has an update from the Children's Council, Service Council Weather Desk for you.
Well, Isabella is not here today, so I guess I'll do it. As you kick off the weekend, brace yourself for cloudy skies and some warm weather. If you're planning on venturing tonight, you can expect widely scattered showers or a thunderstorm this evening, then partly cloudy. The low will be 70 degrees and winds will be out of the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, it will be partly cloudy. The high will be around 88 degrees. Winds will be out of the southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow evening, you can expect partly cloudy skies, and there is a low of 72 degrees, and winds will be out of the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. The sun will rise at 6:57 a.m. and sink at 7:44 p.m. Sunday, it will be partly cloudy with afternoon showers or thunderstorms. The high will be around 88 degrees, and you can expect winds coming in from the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday night, there should be thunderstorms in the evening that will give way to mostly cloudy skies overnight. The low will be at 69 degrees. Winds are expected to come out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunrise is at 6:56 a.m. and sunset will be at 7:45 p.m. Until next time, that has been your weather from the Children's Services Council Weather Desk. Have a fun, warm, and safe weekend. So students, would you like to polish your communication skills? If so, Community Conversations is the place for you. You will learn to record, document, and produce material suitable for radio and television from industry professionals. Take it from me. English is my primary language, and I'm still practicing my English here on Community Conversations. You will also learn breathing techniques and overcome your fear of public speaking, all while having fun. We are the only youth-run medium for kids, by kids, and about kids, at least in South Florida. And we have fun as we learn. Not to mention, Community Conversations is a powerful tool for telling and preserving the local stories about kids. Give us a call at 561-665-0151 or email communityconversationspbc@gmail.com to learn how you can be a part of the team. If you like what you are seeing, please let us know by liking and sharing the page with your contacts. And send us a comment on both Facebook and Instagram. And now, let's hear from our sponsors.
Right now, delivering the things people need has never been more important. To all of our Amazon retail heroes on the floor, in the air, and behind the wheel, we want to thank you. We'll continue to do everything we can to keep you healthy, safe, and protected. The work you are doing means everything right now. Thank you.
Bring on spring with calculators that can help you color, videos that get to the point and keep your projects on point, and a store that rings your doorbell anytime you need it. This is doing like never before. This is today's Home Depot. How doers get more done.
All across the United States,
families are paying too high a price to cover the cost of home.
Rent and home ownership costs are skyrocketing,
while wages are not keeping pace.
1 in 6 families are forced to make impossible choices
between safe homes,
nutritious food,
health care,
access to good schools,
or reliable transportation.
Which would you choose?
Which would you choose?
No family should have to pay more than half their income for a place to live.
Habitat for Humanity is taking a stand.
Habitat for Humanity is taking a stand.
I am taking a stand.
Yo estoy tomando una posición.
I am taking a stand.
We are committed to find solutions and create policies
that allow for people to meet their most basic needs.
I believe that no matter where they live or how much they earn,
every family deserves a chance to thrive.
Join us.
Ayúdanos.
Join us.
Join us.
Help make the cost of home something we can all afford.
A warm South Florida welcome to all our friends who are joining us on KOP Mentoring Network's Facebook page or on YouTube. As usual, shout out to our friends in the Bahamas, Belize, Canada, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Japan, St. Vincent, Tobago, the UK, and the US Virgin Islands. Please remember to share community conversations on your social media pages. If you've missed the show, you can find it on KOP Mentoring Network Facebook pages. And while you're there, do us a favor and give KOP Mentoring Network on Facebook a follow.
If you are watching us live, or even if you are watching one of our Community Conversations Rewind episodes, take a moment and type your city in the chat so we can give a shout out to your city. You never know when we may be broadcasting from your city, and you may just get a tank of gas, courtesy of John Peters State Farm Insurance. And now, let's head over to Maui, Hawaii, where Tiara Marcy will introduce the next segment. Tiara?
Here at KOP, we believe that leadership training prepares youth to manage their time, work in a team setting, set goals, start conversations, facilitate meetings, and make effective presentations, all of which are positive life skills that they will carry into adulthood. Please direct your attention to our friend, Mr. John Maxwell, for our Leadership Minute.
Hi, John Maxwell. Welcome to Minute with Maxwell. We're looking at the 16 laws of communication. Law number 13 is the law of the thermostat. Basically, that law says communicators read the room and then they change the temperature. Once in a while, I'll hear somebody that is a communicator and they'll say, wow, that was a tough audience. I want to say to them, the audience shouldn't control the communicator. The communicator should control the audience. We have the ability to look around the room and, if needed, turn the temperature up. However, let me just tell you a personal story quickly where I wasn't able to turn the thermostat up at all. I was in Nairobi, Kenya, and I was getting ready to do a large leadership conference, and it was to be held at a hotel, and all of a sudden they realized that the registrations exceeded the maximum people that they could put in the room. And so at the literally last minute, they decided to have me teach in the massive lobby of the hotel. Oh my. One look at the lobby and I knew I was in trouble. There were 6 big pillars in the lobby. There were 4 elevators going up and down. People were coming in, people were going out. Baggage was being transferred continually. Announcements were being made over the system. People were mingling. Some of them were sitting, reading. Some of them were watching television. And I have to communicate to about 2,500 people in this room. I knew I was in trouble. And in fact, I couldn't even see all the people. The pillars were in the way. They couldn't see me. I'll have to say that it was kind of a low time in my communication life. But let me tell you about one person who read the room and turned up the thermostat. He's my good friend, Tom Mullins. He was with me on this trip, and he immediately saw I was in trouble. The lobby was not at all conducive for any type of good communication. And it's my turn to speak. I'm not wanting to speak. I'm not in the mood. But I get up to speak, and Tom picks up his chair and moves it to about 6 feet right in front of me, sits the chair down, gets out his pen, gets out his paper, looks up at me and says, John, just teach me tonight. I can hardly wait to learn. I can hardly wait to hear. Give it to me, John. Give it to me. I'm ready. Come on, John. Give it to me. I smiled at Tom. Oh my gosh, that's what a good friend is right there. He read the room. He knew that we were in trouble. And he turned the heat up on the thermostat by becoming a person that would say, I'm going to get in front of John. And if he can only see one person, that person's going to nod, that person's going to encourage, and that person's going to take notes. That night, Tom Mullins read the room and turned the thermostat up. All great communicators do that, but sometimes it's also helpful to have someone in the audience help you out just a little bit. Thanks for being with me today on Minute with Maxwell.
The cinematographer and engineer behind tonight's show is Neil, a proud product of our KOP Mentoring Network team and Atlantic High School, soon to be in Florida State Seminole. To find past community conversations, visit our YouTube channel and type in KOP Mentoring Network in the search bar. That will about do it for this week's edition of Community Conversations. Please join us again next week when we will have another dose of news by and about what young people are doing both in the community and around the world.
Remember to tell your friends about Community Conversations. Please like us, share us, and let us know your thoughts by commenting. We hope that you learned something tonight that will make a significant impact in your life. Young people, there is no greater investment you can make on a Friday night than being with like-minded people on Community Conversations. Thank you again to our sponsors for keeping us going.
If you like what you saw here tonight, and wish to support the extraordinary work that KLP Mentoring Network does in our community, please like us and share our information with your friends on social media. Thanks for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share community conversations with all your friends and family. As we wrap up tonight's session, we leave you with this message.
Oh, this world's a little crazy. Oh, you are mine.
Before we go, we want to shout out our terrific Community Conversations fan teachers, starting with Mrs. Thompson and her owls at the Wilbur Snow School in Middletown, Connecticut, teachers Kendra at the Clovis Adult Transition Program in Clovis, California, to Illinois for Mrs. Hamilton and her Kankakee Ks at Montessori Fine Arts in Kankakee, and Mrs. Sanders and her Timberwolves at Midland Elementary in Lincoln, and Miss Moore and her Yetis at Reunion Elementary in Commerce City, Colorado. Kids are irreplaceable, but 1 in 5 new COVID cases have been in kids. COVID vaccines prevent hospitalizations and serious illness in kids and others, even from the Delta variant.
Find vaccines for everyone 5 and up at www.vaccines.gov. Have a great weekend, everyone, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Stay dry, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in for another amazing rendition of Community Conversations. If you like what you saw tonight, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing with friends, families, and even acquaintances. Be sure to tune back next week for another amazing edition of Community Conversation.